Konnichiwa, gentle viewers. I'm Mysterious JG. Let's continue to play Nobunaga's Ambition, Sphere of Influence. Last time, we read some historically inclined text and hired some new retainers to swell our ranks. Probably we have the highest concentration of retainers of three small, locations in the game. We may have the highest concentration of created officers. Probably my force will have benefited more from created officers than any other force to date. But, other than we got the Vulture clans up there, and I don't remember the name of the other officer who ended up in the same spot. But yeah, we did okay on that score, but it's not game breaking. At least I don't think so. Thanks to the 45 other officers who are out there, instantly swooped up by other clans. Our historical quest that we are meant to be engaging in right now, working the Tsushima. We have to bring the Asuta's tribe support to 80. Pardon me. And the Tsushima's tribe support to 80. How do we go about doing that? Well, first of all, let's actually get a quick look. There might be better ways to do this. Hey, one or more of the tribes looks at us with caution. Let's appease them and get them. So, congratulations. What is your name? Other thing with having like 50 created characters is that I don't remember any of you. But Skadi, oh Jesus, Skadi, you're killing me. Now I'm gonna have to remember your name. She has become. I don't know that there's an official title. I always think of them as the concierge, but she apparently has stats that are built in such a way that her face will pop up. She's the one who's supposed to be telling us stuff like, we can increase our allies through diplomacy. One or more tribes looks at us with caution. But she's supposed to be Nordic. One or more tribes look at us with caution. I'm the Swedish chef. Sorry. But yeah, she'll be the one who's actually talking to us at meetings and stuff now. I don't know if it's pull, intelligence, leadership. Pretty sure it wouldn't be valor. But yeah, whatever her stats are, they trump the person who actually was Nobuhide's advisor. So she'll be the one whose face pops up in any window where our chief advisor is supposed to be telling us what to do. There's probably better ways to do it, but the only way I can figure out where tribes are is to go to the screen where you actually choose them to appease, and then just think about it. We have quests to increase our support amongst these two clans, Tsushima and Atsuta. Atsuta has 41% support for us, and also shares support with Honganji. Honganji. This is going to be interesting. If we follow the historical path, it'll be a long time before we can get rid of the Honganji. Let's see if we can actually find them. Alright, over here. It'll be a long time before we can get rid of these guys, if they are who I'm thinking they are. Like a sort of fortified base held by a sect of Buddhist monks. But most tribes are going to have a clan support ratio where there are two clans that are within a certain distance of them that both have some influence with the tribe. And if a clan is like this clan here, we have no support. We have no geographical contact with them, so they're split between the Imagawa and the Matsudaira. If the Imagawa were ever to conquer the Matsudaira, they would eventually be able to raise their support with this clan up to 100 and absorb them. And the clan support ratio would be between Imagawa and Independence. So we will not be able to absorb any of these clans, because as long as another clan appears, even if we get ours up to 99, it can never go to 100 unless we're the only clan they have contact with. It is still advisable to bring their support ratio up, because they're more likely to support you in combat. This is all stuff that we've kind of covered, other than the fact that I think I didn't talk about what stops you from absorbing them right away. We've talked about this before. So the only officer who's available to appease, unfortunately, is Nobumitsu. And it's because he's located in the city that's nearby. So right now, this city only has 2 officers in it. Oh, because the officer, I guess it was Phantom Soup that I made Lord of that castle is on his way there to run it. And same thing with Narumi Castle. The person I put in charge there is heading there now. But right now, most of my officer corps is here. So, before we get going with too much else, let's actually split our guys up a bit. So we'll move somebody to Shobutada, and let's move somebody with halfway decent pull, but... Well, let me see. I need 3 officers with good pull, and the officers that I move to those castles to be lords are probably going to be pretty good anyway. But Nobuhide might be caught up with other duties. Let's move Garth Morgan over there. But he won't get there instantly. And then... you probably have enough. Nagoya is going to be our main city for a little while. Although, to be honest with you, I remember I played a little bit into this scenario on easy difficulty, and we're going to want to be prepared on our southern frontier before any other frontiers is going to be important. So, oops, no, that's the opposite of what I wanted to do. I wanted to move one more officer to Nagoya. So let's go with the other unhappy officer, because frankly, if I have to switch around castle lords because somebody else is going to be the pain in the ass for a while, then I will do so. But I might as well have the... Again, this is like counterintuitive, and I might be wrong, but like putting all the disloyal people together in one castle sounds stupid, but I think I understand the game mechanics in such a way that I can cycle them back and forth as castle lord without losing time that way. And it won't make it more likely that I lose the castle due to shenanigans. But I could be wrong. I'm trying to use game logic rather than logic. We'll see how that works out. So back to appeasement. We might as well get started right off the bat. It will mean that we don't... Well... We've got time. Rather than getting started right away on appeasement with the only officer I have free up here, I can't change this to anybody. There's no one else to act as overseer. We will start developing this city. The thing with development is, if you have no overseer, your crop development is like 25. If you put this guy who has a below average poll score in charge, it goes all the way up to whatever that is. I don't do math in my head, folks. And yeah, so even with the below average score, it's a it's a significant increase to how effective this guy is. And we do spend labor and gold in developing. So you never want to be developing without an overseer unless you absolutely have to develop. So we will do that, and that's going to mean there's nobody in town who's free to actually start working that tribe. So we are putting off our quest in order to concentrate on development first. Here, there's no reason to wait on this one, though, because there's several characters. This one is within range of both of our other cities. So he still appears as an option, but he's marked as overseer. If we use him, we'll be removing him as overseer, so we're going to say no. It's letting us change our mind, but you want to pay attention that you're not clicking through menus so quickly that you assign somebody to something and then pull them off without realizing it. These guys, it wouldn't be a bad idea to build up these tribes too. And eventually we're going to want this tribe too, because they're supporting the other Oda clan. But I will go ahead, this is important. I'm tempted to put Nobuhide himself in charge. $41 to 81. 41 to 80. Well, they're going to get the same result. Who has the highest poll score? Skafi has a lower poll score and gets the same result, so I'll send her. Even if another clan interferes, I think this will go well. I think so too, Skafi. And in Narumi, this will actually mean that Nobusada, who has our highest overall poll score, I believe. Oh, no, actually, he's the only person who's available to do it. Never mind. This is the smaller of the two towns. We'll get him working on crafts as well. Now, there's 3 things we can improve in a city: crops, crafts, and conscripts. What I have heard in the little bit that I've read about the game, that I didn't read out of the manuals and stuff, is that it is wise to grow these 2 and hold off on growing conscripts as late as you can. Having a high conscript level means that you will get more soldiers per turn, because soldiers are spontaneously generating resource in this game as people join your military. But your overall population will grow faster, the idea being that your population grows at a certain rate, but the higher your conscription, the higher the percentage of those people become part of your army, which means that they are not part of other things like developing gold and food. So what you want is very high overall population growth and a reasonable level of conscription, so that you're not like conscripting 95% and your cities are stagnating. So I am going to try to not let this go over 50%. That's like a rule of thumb I'm setting for myself. That might be a very bad idea. Other armies might grow way faster than mine. But this is my first play session here, and I am looking for you guys to, throw in with your thoughts, especially those of you who've already played. In Nagoya, we know you have a choice of leaders in Nagoya. But we're going to go with Nobuhide and the main Ming. And you know what? I keep going with crops. Yeah, he says crafts. You need crops and crafts to grow your city. But both crops and crafts, I think increasing them increases population. It seems like it would just be crops, but crafts also does it. But crafts also increases your gold. So I can see 2 benefits to crafts. With crops, the only benefit besides your city grows faster is having food for marching armies, and I'm going to try to avoid having a lot of marching armies early. I know it's exciting to watch, but I start marching armies around and consuming lots of food. It's going to lead to if I don't do that carefully and at the right times, it's going to be a bad thing in the long run. So let's actually concentrate. I'm surprised at how little that's going up. There might be an element of the higher it is, the slower it grows. Well, yeah, why aren't you in charge of it? 749 with him in charge. 736 with him in charge. So let's go ahead and put the lord of the whole force in charge of increasing that. Now we've got increasing going on everywhere. We still got 4 labor left. Labor is... I don't perfectly understand how labor works, except that it regenerates every season. And the rate at which it regenerates depends on how developed how populous your cities are. And that you never quite seem to have enough when you need it. And it's very much something that it limits you in the early game, that by the late game you should have more than enough labor to do what you want. So we've done all that. We could start working on trying to get happiness going. We could start searching our cities. Matter of fact, I actually want to do that early before I can forget. Searching cities and perform reconnaissance on the enemy. Let's survey our cities. It's a one-time thing which can reveal resources. So we will get Maruhide to do that. It's going to take him a month. It's going to cost us a couple hundred gold. And it's a good freaking idea, I think. We will do it here. I don't think the intelligence of the person who searches makes a difference. If I'm wrong about that, then I am going to deeply regret this. Because searching is important. Finding something good when you search, you search once, you find whatever there is to find, and then you're done. And the resources are randomly assigned. So if having a low intelligence officer, like as you... Yeah, way to make the only black guy in the entire franchise have below average intelligence, Go-I. Nice. Anyway. If it turns out that having a guy with low intelligence search here decreases my odds of finding something good, well, you know what? Oof. The mere possibility that that's the case is bugging me. Let's hold off on Nagoya just in case. Instead, let's have the only black character in the entire franchise build roads. Sure. It's not like we're making the Irish or the Chinese build roads. That would be offensive. So we are going to increase the roads. You see them there. Most of them are marked 2. A few of them are marked 4. The better the roads are, they go all the way up to 5. It helps you out in ways, and I'm not 100% clear on what all of them are. But this costs a certain amount of labor. It's going to take him... Woo, he's got a... Yeah, never mind. He'll be at this forever. We won't be able to use him for anything else. Oh, man. I guess I could go back to that. See, if I try to make him add a facility, it's insane. He'll be at it for forever. And we do want to start doing this too. Say, for example, he decided to build a canal. It would take 126 terms. 30 terms is 1 month, so this basically would take him 4 months. Not horrible. I'd have to think about which one I actually want to do. Well, you know, let's hold off, because I want to actually search and see if there's resources that we should be taking advantage of. I guess what I could do, use 3 labor to improve the roads. What if we just did the 1 road? Still take him forever. Yeah, Yazuka is a horrible poll scorer. Now, in fairness, to the average Japanese person of the time, he's probably like a terrifying demon. So he doesn't seem like he'd be a good guy for, like, organizing, you know, that sort of administrative task. That being said, I don't know what we're going to be able to get out of, useful out of Yazuka. What are these various guys doing? Nobuhita, you know what, it's as silly as this sounds, I'm gonna make Nobuhita do, our lord here, do some road work. He's got a pull score that's through the frickin' roof. It will still take him multiple turns to do that much road work, but I'll put him in charge. Because I don't like leaving labor unspent. I'll begin right away, my liege. No, you're the liege, actually. And I'm going to go back to develop. And even though he's not providing much of a boost at all, but he'll do it. It's, you know, I might as well use it. And we'll have 3 labor, because the thing is that labor that you leave over and don't use doesn't really carry over, I don't think. I'm still working out the kinks, folks. Labor, you get new labor generated periodically, but my experience with what little I've played is that it doesn't really benefit you to leave labor unspent if you can spend it. And again, particularly in the first few turns here, I'm really going to be relying on those of you who've already played to come in and educate me. But for now, I think we're ready to actually end our first turn. So I've got it on the highest possible speed. I'm going to slow it down. People did show up in their new locations, but until the month is over, we can't actually issue them new orders. So we can we can zoom in and watch stuff happening if we want. I don't know how much there will be to see. It's little people moving around on the roads. And a base grew due to road improvement. That's the biggest reason to improve your roads. It gives you more room in your bases. So like Nagoya here, we have the ability to turn the fair here into something else. But some of these territories that are just commons, they should develop into something that we can improve. The people have added a fair at Narumi Castle due to growth. I don't think I was doing enough in my off-screening with building roads. Because building roads is key to improving your cities quickly. And of course, this tribe here we're negotiating with right now. So they've got a little village that's in our territory, and we're working on getting them onto our side. But we won't get a meaningful update on that until the next time we go to a town council. So we already brought the Atsuka's tribe support to 80. Good job, Scotty North.
Let's begin the meeting.
And now Soup Phantom's taken over. I thought it was going to be Scabby. Maybe she hasn't returned from her mission yet? Or maybe Soup Phantom actually trumps her? Anyway, we are going to be in this month's council.
Last month's balance.
We spent way the fuck more than we made. That was pretty disastrous. I didn't think about this. I knew the expenses would be very high because of the hiring. But I completely forgot how much it costs to develop roads. Developing roads is expensive. We need to probably not develop roads next turn. Or if we do develop roads next turn, we just need to be prepared for the fact that we'll be scraping the bottom of the barrel on gold reserves. If all you do is develop, especially if you're concentrating on developing your markets, you should be able to slowly grow your gold. If you do a couple of turns in a row without spending any cash, and your force has any size whatsoever, you'll build up your coffers pretty quickly. But yeah, the one-time hit you get from hiring multiple officers, coupled with building a bunch of roads, that was pretty tough.
Reporting in. So
we found a secret path. That's pretty cool. We found a landmark. That's even better. Scotty North had phenomenal success in her mission, so one half of our quest is already done. And then on the log, we got a lot of more detailed stuff that we probably don't really need to look at. Extra leadership experience for Soup Phantom, so good for him. Although I thought all he did was move to a new city. Anyway, next turn. Could end it now and just make that a short one, but let's keep rolling. So we've got 9 working, so I don't think... Didn't we have 10 to start last time? I think maybe, I don't know. I don't have perfect understanding of how that work functionality is. We've already, I believe, got Nobuhide out developing roads. I don't think he's back from that yet. Take a quick look at our officer loyalty. Seriko is still a problem. Not horrible, but Seriko has a very high required loyalty. Seriko is going to be a pain in the ass. And Seriko may eventually become more trouble than he's worth. This guy was pretty much perennially agitated during my LP, or not my LP, my off screening. And it's going to be worse here because I can't put him in charge of a castle. Yeah, so I got a couple of guys in orange, but nobody in the red, so I'm not going to switch up my castle lords. All that would do is the people that I was turfing out and no longer making castle lords would suddenly become orange. We usually get a message to tell us when there's new Ronin to hire, which is handy, because it means you don't have to be obsessively checking this. Let's see now if we can appease this other tribe that we need to appease. And we can. And I'm going to have Garth Morgan, who has slightly lower pull than Soup Phantom, do that. Ooh. Okay, well, we're not going to be able to get these guys in one shot. It's going to take 2 months worth of appeasement here. I'll appease the Tsushima tribe and win their support. Then I'll put on a play. What else do we want to do? We're low on cash. So this should probably not be the wisest time. Although it takes so long to build up trust with the court. I kind of feel like I should be doing that in the background throughout. There will come a point where we can't do any more with that than we've already done. Seriko has really high intelligence. He's a super genius. And at 600 gold a month, we can start to slowly build that. I'm going to do it. If it turns out that we're... Yeah, I'm nervous about breaking history, but I think having 100 trust with the Imperial Court and not cashing it in for anything, but just keeping it in the bank might be wise. Although, oof. Yeah, this is not the time. We don't have the cash. Especially because I really want to get some infrastructure stuff done right off the top here. Not base structures. That's looking too far ahead. Nagoya, we now have... This place can be developed. Oh, we didn't search this place. That's why I didn't do this last time. We will survey Nagoya, and I will have Seriko, the super genius, do that. So Seriko, if you don't find anything, A, shame on you. I don't believe we'll find anything. Please, my liege, reconsider. Huh. Why would that be? It might be that the story is going to trigger... Alright, this is my theory. The story is going to trigger a specific resource there later. That being the case, I'm going to go ahead and not spend the turn in the gold. But I was a little surprised at that. Gotta say, a little surprised. Alright, well, we're just at about the 30-minute mark, and I'm at it's a convenient stopping point for me. So we're going to call it a video. When we come back, we will continue with the domestic efforts to build up the Oda clan. And just as a side note, hope you guys are enjoying. It's a beautiful game. I love the soundtrack, and I'm having fun developing and stuff. And I'll try to move through the turns quicker with coming videos. But if this is boring the crap out of you, I'm just throwing this out there now. I want you to know this is not the game for everybody. And I'm sure that I will give a video title to the first video where we go into combat, where you know that that's what's going on. But yeah, things are going to be a little slow as we go. And I know there are people who want me to check up on the statuses of the created officers periodically. Don't want to do that too often because that'll slow things down even more. But next time we're going to go into another domestic turn. I'm the Serious JG. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you then.